Hey there, welcome back to this new episode of Mabel's Lifestyle. So today I'll be showing you how to make this delicious pork sauce. This pork sauce goes so well with rice. You can choose to eat yours with plantain or yam. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do so because I will be dropping a lot of interesting video on how to make some simple delicious meal. Before we begin, I'm going to introduce some of the items we will be using to make our pork sauce. With me here are some knoor seasoning, black and white pepper, thyme and curry. That is a mixture of black and white pepper. Those seasoning are what we'll be using to season our pork meat to give it a delicious taste. We'll also be using some scotch bonnet pepper, green beans, green bell pepper, some salt, fresh tomatoes and onions, and of course our pork meat itself. Not forgetting our tomato paste, Rick-giko. This Rick-giko right here is one of the best tomatoes in Nigeria right now. If you haven't tried using it, please use it and let me know what you think. So guys, I'm going to slice this item, especially the green beans, green pepper and the fresh tomatoes and onions, and I'll get back to you guys. Stay tuned. Okay guys, so with me here are some of the items already washed and sliced. It's very important that you wash your pork meat with warm water and salt, please. Warm water and salt, especially if you're buying it freshly from the market. So with me here is pepper already blended, and this onions is for the seasoning. As you can see, I sliced it differently from the one I'll be using for our sauce itself. And this is about 2 teaspoons of curry, 2 teaspoons of thyme, and 2 teaspoons of black and white pepper, and 3 cubes of Maggi. So let's get started. Okay guys, to begin we're going to season our pork meat. As I said earlier, this spice here, 2 teaspoons of curry and thyme with 2 teaspoons of 1 teaspoon each of black and white pepper is for our seasoning with the 3 cubes of knoor. So let's begin by adding our mixed spice, or let's just put them all in at once. Okay, here we go. Our pepper, 2 teaspoons, and salt, 1 teaspoon. We're going to allow it to steam for about 5 minutes before we put a little bit. Let's put on our fire. Okay, as I said earlier, we're going to allow this cook for 5 minutes to allow the ingredient get into the pork. Then we'll come back, add a little bit of water, then let it cook for 15 more minutes so that the pork meat can get cooked properly. It's important to cook your pork meat very well. It's been 20 minutes altogether since we started cooking our pork. Let's check on it, see how cooked it is. Then after that, we're going to separate it from the broth. Look at that view. Wow, it smells so good. The aroma in this kitchen right now is unbelievable. I'm going to separate the pork from the broth. This pork broth is what we'll be using to make our sauce. Using the pork broth on your sauce make it even more delicious. So let's separate that and start frying. In a different pot, we're going to be adding our vegetable oil, Oh yes. Our onions. Our tomato, the fresh one first. We stir it. We're going to allow it for about 5 minutes before adding the other tomato paste. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. Let's add this spoon of salt. The reason why we're adding this is because it's very important to be careful while adding your salt at this point. You know, we've already seasoned our pork meat with a lot of salt, and we'll be using the juice to cook the sauce. Stir and add our paste. And stir. Allow it to cook for 5 more minutes. Let's go. Okay guys, our tomato paste has been spinning for 5 more minutes. So the next thing we're going to do is check on it and see if it's dry enough to add other items. This method of this method of pork meat sauce can also apply to stew, though yeah, if you're making beef stew or chicken stew, it depends. But I don't really like, okay, it's dry enough. I don't really like frying my pork meat, yeah, too much oil and you know. So next we're going to be adding our pork meat bird here. We're adding it to the tomatoes and stir. Ooh, the boiling has just stopped. 2 more knoor seasoning, green pepper, green beans, and not forgetting our best part, the remaining pepper. Ooh, I love pepper, especially in pork meat. I can't eat any pork meat that doesn't have pepper. Oh yeah. And cover it to cook for 2 minutes. low heat. Okay guys, let's check on our sauce. Ooh, it's frying, it's frying. Next, we're going to add our curry and black and white pepper. It's very important here. Finally, I'll be adding the already cooked pork into our sauce. Get some water, just a little bit. Well, it depends on how much water you want in your sauce though. I'll add a little bit of water. Stir it up. Let me test that. It looks too delicious. It tastes just right. Okay, I'm going to cover that up for 5 more minutes. That's all for our pork sauce. You can choose to eat your sauce with whatever you want.